Hello guys, myself Dharmender Chauhan and today we will going to read Anatomy of Eye. So we will study today parts of eye, how the eye and its various parts functions, how do we see the objects, how do we see objects in 3D, what are the vision problems and how the parts of some parts of eye protect our eye from dust and etc. And then we will revise these topics. So here you can see the image of an eye. So we will describe the parts of eye in this image. So first of all, you can see this uh, wavy fleshy part. It's known as iris. Then we will see the parts here and what functions they are doing. We will see as the later or in upcoming slides. So then you can see there is a black spot. This black spot is, it's not actually a black spot, it's actually a hole from where light enters. This hole is called as pupil. Then comes this white part. This white part is known as sclera. So here you can see the more parts of the eye. So here we will try to explain the functions of the eye. So you can see this bluish part. This bluish part is called as iris. This iris is actually muscle. This iris, the color of the eyes is due to because of this iris. Some people have black, some have brown, some have blue. Okay, then I have told you that this whole part is known as pupil. Then this white bulging out part is known as sclera. Then there is one more layer which is bulging out on the sclera. This is called as cornea. So this cornea is actually, when this cornea is damaged or whenever there is an eye transplant, we say that there will be an eye transplant. This cornea part is removed and replaced. Not the whole eye is taken out and replaced. Only this cornea part is removed. Then there is a aqueous humor. Then there are suspensory ligament. Then there is this lens. This lens actually cover the pupil. Whatever light comes into the eye, it's controlled by this pupil, and the lens focuses it on the retina. So whenever when we go outside, suddenly we go outside from a dark room to in the light, we can see our eyes try to shut down. So the reason for this is this pupil tries to close. So less less light will enter into our eyes. Whenever we go into dark, this pupil size increases. That is, the size of this hole increases so that more and more light can go into the retina, that is the lens, and we can see the objects clearly. Then comes this lens. The objective of this lens is to whatever light or images are coming, focus it onto the retina, from where then there is this retina. Whatever image we see, it will focus onto this retina, and then the function of this retina is to convert the impulse, whatever we images see, that convert into the impulses, and then this optic nerve is there. This will transmit those signals, that is those impulses, to the brain. In the upcoming slides we will see how we see object, and then more things will be clearer. The suspensory ligament, they hold this lens, and the widening of the lens or the shrinking of the lens is due to this suspensory ligaments. This suspensory ligament controls the shrinking or the thickening of the lens. So I think we have covered this slide. Moving on to the next slide. Now we will understand how do we see an object. So whenever, as you can see in this slide, suppose there is a coffee mug which is front in place of our eye. So whatever object is there, it will always reflect light. Meaning, whenever light strikes on an object, it will scatter in all the direction. So some light goes into our eyes. This light when passes through this cornea, then pupil, then this lens. So lens will focus or adjust this light, sorry, pupil will adjust the light and lens will focus this light, and then it will transmit it to the retina. So on the retina we see the inverted mug, that is whatever we see, the image of that object is always inverted in our retina. So the retina will convert this image into impulses, and then it will transfer this image in impulses to the optic nerve, and then optic nerve will transfer these impulses into our brain, which will actually invert the image and see the what actually the object is. This eye part is so important that almost our 70% those nerve impulses or sensory equipments or sensory parts are direct to the eye, so it is that much important. So next we are going to cover how do we see in 3D, that is whenever we touch the object or whatever we do, I mean whenever we touch an object, like suppose whenever we take our phone, we know the texture of the object. So how this is it? This is because our left eye see something and right eye see something. So by combining both these images we see actually the object. Whenever you get time, try to see by left eye and by closing your right eye and try to see from left eye, then close the left eye and then try to see from right eye. The wide span of one eye is 45 degree. So whenever the both eye combines, it will cover actually a arc of or a wide span of 120 degree. So as you can see here in the image, left side see the ball in the right side of it, and the right side eye see the ball in the left side. When both these eyes are combined, we see the ball in the front of the road actually. So whenever you have also seen, then there are some varying equipments are there in which we insert our phone and we can see actually the movies or images into 3D. And you have seen that when we take out the phone from equipment, we see actually there are two images. So our brain actually see those images from different left and right eye, and then combines it into single image. So the object is formed in the front of eye. It looks like that the object is in front of eye. Next topic is vision problems. So whenever there will be a problem in the cornea, there will be some problems like hypermetropia, myopia. The color blindness is due to rods and cones problem. So we will see what is rods and cones when we will study color blindness. So coming to the hypermetropia is also known as farsightedness. So then next we will read myopia. So myopia is nearsightedness. After reading all this, you will get confused that which one is hypermetropia and which is myopia. So I will give you one trick by which you can remember it easily for forever. So in a hypermetropia, actually hypermetropia is farsightedness. The person who is having problem in hypermetropia, he can see the far objects clearly, but he cannot see the objects nearby clearly. So as you can see in this slide, in the normal vision, here is this normal vision. Here the light enters from here, then it goes into the lens focuses it on the retina. So for a normal person, the focal plane will be here on the retina, on this point. Whereas the person who has hyperopia, that is hypermetropia or nearsightedness, the image should form here, but because of this deformity, the image will form far from the retina. So the person can see the far objects clearly but cannot see the nearby objects clearly. So how do we correct this? We will correct it by placing a convex mirror in front of the person. So whenever the person wears this convex glasses, he will see the image will form on the retina and not afterwards. So the image will form on the retina and he will able to see the things clearly. So then there is this myopia, that is nearsightedness. So normal vision is this: there is an object, light strikes it, light enter into the eye, there will be inverted image on the retina, and then it will transfer to the optic nerve, and optic nerve to brain. Okay, so this is the normal vision, right? Whereas in the nearsightedness, the image of the object is formed in front of the retina. In hypermetropia, the image was formed here, and in the nearsightedness, that is myopia, the image is formed in front of it. Okay, so because of this, as here you can see, it is saying that nearsightedness, so the person can see the near objects very clearly, but the far objects are they cannot be seen clearly. So you can see for how do we correct this? To correct this, here you can see this is a concave lens. We will place the concave lens in front of the person's eye, and he will able to see the far objects as well as near objects clearly. He was able to see near objects clearly, but far objects he was not able to see clearly. Then I forgot to place a slide of presbyopia. Presbyopia is actually is mix of this hypermetropia and myopia. So presbyopia is a combination of myopia and hypermetropia. So in this defect, person is not able to see near objects as well as the far objects, and that can be solved by a bifocal glasses which have this concave lens as well as this convex lens. Then there is color blindness. Here the concept comes rods and cones. So what is rod and what is cones? The rods and cones are both photosensitive cells, okay, which the rods are photosensitive cells, and the cones are also photosensitive cells. So the rods actually see the black and white color only, whereas the cones can see the all types of colors. And the cones are situated in the fovea. I will show you in this image, just a second. Okay, here is this fovea, and here is the cones are actually placed here, and the rods are placed all over here. So whenever the image of object is formed, it will form on this fovea. Okay, here the cones are here, and they will recognize the color. Whenever there is a defect in this cones, that is which are placed in fovea, then the person will not be able to distinguish between the person will not be able to differentiate between the red, green and yellow. These three colors are there, and he will not be able to differentiate between these three colors. So if a normal person sees this clothes, suppose this is a green, this is yellow and this is red, so he will not be able to distinguish between these colors, and he will see this green color cap into yellow t-shirt will be slightly not yellow, and this red will also he will see yellow, and so this is called as color blindness. Then next comes protection. There are we have read in the I forgot to mention about this eyelashes, eyebrows, and so these are actually to protect our eyes from dust or some particles. So there, just a second. Here you can see that there is a cornea. Okay, this cornea is very important part of eye and it needs to be protected. So there is always a there is always a film or tear film. You see, whenever we cry, there are tears in our eyes. There is always a tear film here which protect our cornea from dust particles. Whenever dust particles get into our eye, this film or this tear film, this will collect all those particles, dust particles, and it will just a second, I will show you where they collect it. They will collect it here, okay, and then you see that there are white substances coming out from your eye. So actually the reason for that is because there is a tear film, and it whatever unwanted substances come to the foreign objects come to the eye, it is thrown out from here, okay. Then there is here, you have seen it in your eye or as well sometimes in the mirror, that there is a this kind of a part, fleshy part here is there. Here it is here, okay. This fleshy part is actually this lacrimal gland. So this gland is actually secretes tear. So the tears are secreted here. Whenever we cry, the tears are secreted from here, and then from here it is distributed in all the eye, okay. So this so I have told you that the tears, what is the role of tears, okay. Then there are this eyelid, okay, sorry, before eyelid there are eyebrows, okay. Here are these eyebrows. You have everybody has eyebrows here. The eyebrows are for blocking the perspiration of the forehead. So whenever we perspire, there will be some perspiration, and this perspiration has some salts, and this should not be gone into the eyes. So to protect it, to protect eye from perspiration, these eyebrows are there. Then there is this eyelash. These eyelash are to protect excessive light. So when I told you that whenever we go from dark room to sunlight, the eye tries to shut down. One reason is for this, and one reason is for whenever you encounter a storm or some kind of more dusty, the eyes these eyebrows protect your eye from this dust. So lacrimal gland is this, and then there is nasal. Actually here it is a nose, okay, nose. So there is this lacrimal gland, and one more gland is there, I forgot its name. So whatever this lacrimal gland actually takes, this is nasal cavity, and from here it takes the tears. Tears are very important for our eyes. If tears would not be there, you have seen some people have dry eye. The reason for dry eye is too much staring at screens. If one person is staring at screens, that is on phone or laptop for hours, then he will get dry eye, because this eye blinks, because to these sorry the eyelids blink continuously to make the film continuous. So whenever we stare on the screen, this blinking of eye reduces, and the tear film teared apart. So the cornea got damaged, and because of this we developed dry eye. So I hope you will remember all all the parts. Let's try to revise whatever we have read. So first of all, this one, try to recall, it was iris. I hope you remember. Okay, then this was lens, sorry, pupil. This was pupil, the hole, and what it does, it controls the amount of light which enter into our eye, okay. Then there is sclera, okay, the white part. Then there is this black, blue, or this iris part. Then there is this white part, this is known as sclera, okay. Then there is this lens, okay, this is lens. What is its work? It focuses the image on the retina. Where is retina? This is retina, okay. It's like an screen, like whatever image we see on the screen, computer has a its like computer has a screen, and where we see the images on the screen, it is the screen of computer. Okay, so our screen is this retina. Okay, and then this is the optic nerve, this is optic nerve. Okay, and how do we remember this optic nerve? We remember it by just like a computer has a cable which transfers all the, suppose we have a camera, okay, with the, suppose we have webcam, and the webcam will transfer all the images or whatever it sees from a cable to the computer. So this optic nerve exactly work like this, that cable. Whatever we see, the image or whatever objects, the information is transmitted from here to brain. Okay, so it is like this. And this is ciliary muscles. These are ciliary muscles. What they do, they do, the ciliary muscles holds the lens properly. You have seen some people that in old age this ciliary muscles get loose, and so their lens is not working properly, and so their lens needs to be changed in old age. So this is because of the ciliary muscles. Okay, I hope you enjoy my video. I hope you would have learned many things. Thank you for watching it. Thank you.